Welcome to our terrifying travel tales, a trio of horror stories. Embark on a journey through terrifying travels, 3 true horror stories, where the thrill of adventure meets the chill of the unknown. These tales, rooted in truth, promise to keep you at the edge of your seat, showcasing the eerie and unexplained phenomena that lurk in the shadows of the world. Our first tale, The Haunted Highway, sets the scene with a group of friends seeking adventure on a road trip. Their excitement turns to fear as they encounter the supernatural challenging the limits of their bravery. This story will take you on a ride through a chilling legend that haunts a stretch of desolate road. Late into the night, the group's laughter and chatter fill their car, oblivious to the darkness outside. Their journey takes an ominous turn upon hearing the local legend of a haunted highway. What was initially a tale to scoff at soon becomes a terrifying reality they cannot escape. As the legend becomes their reality, strange occurrences begin. Unexplained noises emanate from the radio, filling the car with a sense of dread. The GPS, their modern-day compass, malfunctions, leaving them stranded and directionless in the heart of the haunted highway's grasp. A ghostly figure suddenly appears in the middle of the road, causing a panic. In their desperate attempt to avoid it, they swerve, leading to an unexpected halt next to a deserted old house. The night that unfolds tests their sanity as whispers and footsteps surround them, marking the beginning of a nightmare. Driving under the moonlit sky, the group's laughter was suddenly cut short. A ghostly figure materialized in the middle of the road, its ethereal form illuminated by the headlights. In a panic, the driver swerved sharply, narrowly avoiding a collision. The car skidded to a halt, hearts racing. The engine groaned and sputtered, finally giving out next to an eerie, deserted old house. Its windows, like hollow eyes, seemed to watch them. The friends exchanged uneasy glances, realizing they were stranded in the dead of night, far from any help. Outside, the night was alive with whispers and footsteps, circling the car like predators stalking their prey. The group huddled together, the weight of their isolation pressing down on them. Each sound from the darkness made their imagination run wild with fearful possibilities. Suddenly, a loud knock on the window shattered the tense silence. They jumped, turning to face the window, but found no one there. The realization that they might not be alone, that something could be lurking just beyond their sight, filled them with an indescribable fear. They spent a night fraught with terror, jumping at every sound, every shadow. As dawn broke, the night's horrors seemed to retreat with the darkness. Yet the ordeal was far from over. The light of day would reveal truths even more chilling than the night's terrors. As daylight broke, the group was eager to leave the horrors of the night behind. Approaching the locals for help, they were met with disbelief when they recounted their ordeal. The revelation that no house had stood in the vicinity for decades sent chills down their spines, the reality of their experience sinking in deeper. The transition from the haunted highway to the next tale introduces a solo traveler driven by wanderlust to a remote town. Seeking a place to stay, he stumbles upon a hostel that promises a roof over his head at an unbelievably low price. Little did he know this decision would lead him into a nightmarish adventure. Upon arrival, the hostel's eerie silence was the first sign that something was amiss. The host, with his secretive demeanor, did little to ease the unsettling feeling. As the traveler was shown to his room, the sparsely filled hostel felt more like a ghost town than a haven for backpackers. The room itself held its own secrets, with strange symbols etched into the walls. Initially dismissing them as the eccentricities of previous occupants, it wasn't long before the night's quiet was shattered by the sound of chanting and footsteps, hinting at the hostel's sinister undertones. As paranoia began to take hold, the discovery of hidden cameras in his room confirmed his worst fears. He was not alone in his terror. Someone, or something, was watching every move, transforming his cheap stay into a cage from which there seemed no escape. In the dead of night, eerie chanting and footsteps echoed through the hostel's hallways, breaking the silence and sending shivers down the spine of the solo traveler. The unsettling sounds seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere, enveloping him in a blanket of fear and uncertainty. Curiosity tinged with dread led him to discover hidden cameras cleverly tucked away in the corners of his room. The realization that he had been under surveillance since his arrival turned his unease into outright terror. It dawned on him that his privacy had been violated in the most sinister way. Attempts to flee this nightmare were met with frustration, as doors that once opened freely were now inexplicably locked, and windows refused to budge. The hostel, which had seemed merely odd upon arrival, now felt like a prison from which there was no escape. In his search for a way out, he stumbled upon a hidden room, the belongings of travelers long gone, their identities reduced to mere items left behind, hinted at a grim history. The air hung heavy with the weight of untold stories, each item a silent witness to a fate unknown. Confronting the host, the traveler unraveled the horrifying truth of a secret cult operating within the hostel's walls. The chase that ensued was a blur of panic and desperation, ending only when he emerged into the safety of the night. The hostel's secrets, however, would remain as the police later found the building abandoned, its mysteries unsolved. The traveler's heart raced as he dashed through the dimly lit corridors of the hostel, the sinister secret of the cult now clear. He had stumbled upon their dark practices purely by accident, but escaping this nightmare was all that mattered. Each turn seemed to mock his desperation, the once welcoming hostel now a labyrinth designed to trap. Outside, the night air hit him like a wave of freedom. He didn't stop to look back as he sprinted through the desolate streets of the remote town, the eerie silence serving as a stark contrast to the chaos he had just fled. The hostel, a place of sinister secrets and dark rituals, was now behind him. But the terror of what he had witnessed clung to him like a shadow. The local authorities were skeptical at first, brushing off his frantic tales as the ramblings of a scared tourist. However, the discovery of the hidden room, with its collection of belongings from travelers long missing, lent a chilling credence to his story. The hostel was combed for clues, but it yielded more questions than answers. When the police finally arrived at the scene, the hostel stood silent, abandoned. The host, the orchestrator of the horrors within, was nowhere to be found. It was as if the earth had swallowed him whole, leaving behind only the echo of his crimes. The building, once a beacon for weary travelers, now held the secrets of the vanished. The traveler's escape marked the end of his ordeal, but the shadows of his experience lingered. The hostel from hell, with its hidden cameras and secret rooms, had offered him a glimpse into a world of darkness he wished he had never seen. As he left the town behind, the chilling realization that such evil lurked in unsuspecting places haunted him. And this brings us to our third and final story in tonight's trilogy, where, ignoring the warnings, the group ventured deep into the notorious forest, intrigued by its mysteries. Their curiosity led them to an ancient, unmarked grave, hidden beneath twisted vines and decayed leaves. With reckless abandon, they disturbed the silent resting place, unaware of the consequences their actions would unleash. Soon after, eerie occurrences began. Each member of the group experienced horrifying visions that seemed to claw at the edges of their reality. These visions were not mere tricks of the mind, but felt like deep, personal fears brought to life, tormenting them relentlessly as they tried to press forward. Amidst the growing terror, it became apparent they were not alone. An ominous presence stalked them through the thick foliage, its intentions unclear but its malice palpable. Attempts to retrace their steps and escape the suffocating grip of the forest only led them in haunting circles back to the grave they had disturbed. In their desperation, they uncovered the legend of a vengeful spirit, a guardian of the forest provoked to wrath by their desecration. The air grew cold as night fell, and they found themselves surrounded by ghostly apparitions, the forest alive with the angered dead demanding retribution. Faced with no other choice, they performed a desperate ritual to appease the enraged spirit, hoping for mercy. As the final words were spoken, a path out of the forest mysteriously opened, offering them a narrow escape. They fled, leaving behind the nightmare, but the chilling experience would haunt them forever. As night enveloped the forest, the group found themselves besieged by an eerie silence, punctuated only by the soft rustle of leaves and the ghostly apparitions that began to emerge from the darkness. Shadows danced in the flickering light of their campfire, and faces of the long-forgotten peered at them from the darkness, their expressions twisted in anger and sorrow. It was a haunting realization that they were not welcome here, and the forest itself seemed to be alive with a vengeful spirit. In desperation, they turned to the ancient legends and hastily performed a ritual to appease the spirit, using whatever they could find from the forest floor. The air grew tense as they chanted, hoping beyond hope that their efforts would be enough to pacify the wrathful entity. As the final words of the ritual were spoken, a path illuminated by an ethereal glow appeared, offering them a way out of the nightmare. With no time to spare, they sprinted down the path, the sounds of their pursuers fading into the distance. The forest seemed to reluctantly part ways for them, the oppressive atmosphere lifting with each step they took towards safety. Yet the relief of escape was marred by the realization that what they experienced would haunt them forever. Upon reaching the edge of the forest, they couldn't resist looking back. Their photographs, taken as souvenirs of their adventure, revealed more than they bargained for. Among the trees and the mist, ghostly figures could be seen watching them, a chilling reminder of the forest's dark inhabitants and the truth of the legends they had scoffed at. The world, they realized, was filled with mysteries and horrors that lurked in the shadows, waiting for the unwary. Their experience was a testament to the untold stories that exist just beyond the realm of the known. Travel safe and beware of the horrors that await became more than just a cautionary tale. It was a profound truth they had lived. As our journey through these harrowing tales comes to an end, let's carry with us a solemn reminder of the unexplained mysteries and chilling horrors that might be hiding just around the corner, waiting in the shadows. Always tread carefully, stay aware, and remember to travel safe, for you never know what horrors await in the silence of the unexplored. This brings us to the end of our trilogy for this evening. We hope you have enjoyed our cautionary tales. If you would like to see more of our horror stories, please like and subscribe to our channel to enjoy more terror tales. For now, sleep well, viewer, and we hope to see you next time.